But to Anthony Albanese's terrible day. Let me start by telling you a story. A month ago, Kimberley Kitching was offered a lift, or she offered a lift to Tina McQueen, who's one of the Liberals' vice presidents. Offered a lift after one of their debates on Sky News in Canberra, that was. And that was typically generous of Kimberley, who, as you know, was the Labor Senator who died of a suspected heart attack nearly 2 weeks ago. It was also typical of her to reach out even to people with whom she did not agree. But as they drove to Tina's Canberra hotel, Tina looked at Kimberley and saw something was troubling her. You know, she's normally, Kimberley, smiling, bubbly, you know, and Tina said, "What's wrong?" And she told me that Kimberley just started crying. So Tina took her into her hotel to comfort her. And Kimberley told her about the bullying. Sorry, legal note, the alleged bullying. That was driving her to despair. And Kimberley told her of two of the three Labor women that she called the mean girls, Senators Penny Wong and Christina Keneally. And, you know, of course, it wasn't just Tina who knew about this bullying. I mean, Kimberley told me much the same 6 days before her death. She obviously told her husband as well, and many of her friends, including Diane Asma, as a union leader, and former Labor MP Michael Danby. So, to today. Knowing all this, I was absolutely stunned when Anthony Albanese finally came out of hiding today, front the TV cameras, do a blizzard of interviews to take on this issue. This claim of bullying, this bullying that Kimberley had complained of, and that the three Labor mean girls, including Senator Katie Gallagher, they deny. I should stress that they deny everything except for Wong telling Kimberley once she didn't understand children because she had none herself. Charming. Now, Wong says she apologised, but I haven't found a single person yet who has been able to confirm that. They haven't heard it from Kimberley. I haven't. Who knows? But let me show you now 3 things that Albanese said today that just shocked me. Just shocked me. When he was saying, no, there's going to be no inquiry into this bullying. First, Albanese said there was actually nothing to investigate. There'd been no formal complaints from Kimberley.
There were no complaints put in any formal sense at all about issues. What exactly remains outstanding?
Excuse me? So, right, okay, it was true. There were no formal complaints like, you know, filled in triplicate on Labor letterhead and hand-delivered to Labor headquarters for attention of Anthony Albanese. That's quite right. Quite true. But is Albanese seriously saying that he can therefore ignore all the complaints that Kimberley's friends remember in meticulous detail? All the complaints that well-briefed journalists have now reported. Or the draft letter, indeed, that she prepared for Albanese's deputy, Richard Marles. Labor can ignore all that. No inquiry, nothing to see here. Really? Talk about a Sergeant Schultz.
Oh, I see nothing. I was not here. I did not even get up this morning.
Second, Anthony Albanese today said he'd never heard of Kimberley being bullied.
No stage was any issues raised with me.
That's strange. I mean, even a Liberal outsider like Tina McQueen saw Kimberley cry from the stress of it, but Kimberley's own Labor leader didn't have a clue about any of this. No one mentioned it at all to him, ever. And the third shocking thing that Albanese said today, and maybe the worst, but at least I guess it was the closest he came to admitting his real reason for rejecting an inquiry. You know, that inquiry that's demanded by union leaders like Diane Asma, by former Labor MPs like Jenny George, Michael Danby.
Kimberley Kitching would want us to move on, to dedicate ourselves to a Labor victory at the election.
Unbelievable. Said it himself. Anthony Albanese wants us to move on from this subject to a Labor victory. So let's not have any inquiry that might cost Labor votes. Party first. Bullying allegations under the carpet. And this, says the Labor leader, is what Kimberley would want. Is it? Is it? I've heard Kimberley speak at length on this topic. She sent me texts on this topic. So I'm already more informed than Anthony Albanese. And yes, I am sure that Kimberley would want Labor to win this election, which is true Labor. But I also kind of think, the way she spoke, that she'd also have liked some justice for some women that she named to be held to account. So, is Labor the party of justice? Or is it the party that tramples over anyone for power?